Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Friday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, and sports. I am Glenora Shipura. In the news tonight, with the academic year in its last quarter, the Namibia University of Science and Technology today held its first postgraduate open day to give more insight and familiarize prospective postgraduate students with the master's and doctoral programs offered at the institution. Talking at the event, Dr. Anna Matros Karuoses, Executive Director of the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Partnership, sheds light on being part of the NAS community. Salma Hilu, the Assistant Registrar, said that they recently introduced their master programs, Master of Applied Accounting, Master of Applied Econometrics, Master of Hospitality and Tourism Innovation Management, and Master of Engineering in Mining Engineering. Marut Ngula reports.
If you are at NAST, you form part of a community. We here at NAST, it's a very special kind of community. And what we're saying within your postgraduate journey is that come and be part of the community. Community for us means connectivity. It means networking. It means being in a space, as much as a lot of people, you find them tell you, postgraduate studies is such a lonely journey. Not at NAST, because that is what we are here for. We are here for collaboration, coordination, and I already said that in this particular space, the community that you're entering in is not just any community. It's a very special community that once you are here, it's difficult to leave. That's why Dr. Petrina Mabuku is here. She's even going beyond the first few steps, right? And that community for us is very important. We have our students coming from different diverse backgrounds. You're coming into different disciplines, and that is what then gels you together. Because in this space, you will see in HTTPS, you will see the Access Postgraduate Center. And when I started, I said, what does NAS mean for us? And the first thing I said was, we are student-centered, right? And that is the community that we strive to create here. But for a community, you have to work for a community. Your studies is for the community. We are part of a community, but we are working for the community out there.
The Deep Yellow Limited and its subsidiary Reptile Mineral Resources and Exploration donated fruit trees and compost. 5 Swakopmund schools received fruit trees and bags of compost. The donation took place today at the Namib High School in Swakopmund. Now a total of 50 trees and 32 bags of compost were donated. The donation stems from the tree plant projects. The main objective is to inspire schools to establish diverse tree woodlots, enhance nutrition, and facilitate knowledge sharing among students and environmental clubs within the schools. Sugnet Smith from Reptile Mineral Resources and Exploration shares more.
My name is Sunay Smith and I represent Reptile Mineral Resources and Exploration here in Swakopmund. We are very proud to be part of the SEEP program, which stands for Sustainable Environmental Education Program, led by Let's Do It Namibia. The program director for Let's Do It Namibia is Mr. Tanswell Roynasi, who is in charge and coincide with all the environmental clubs here in Swakopmund. So, from a corporate social responsibility perspective, Reptile has donated 50 trees, of which half is shade trees and other are fruit trees, to 5 schools in Swakopmund, to the value of almost 32,000 Namibian dollars. As we believe in sustainability, for us the return on investment is not money, it's about the youth. It is about environment, and it is, for example, like where we do the handover today at Namib High School, to cover bare ground with trees. So having said that, we've purchased all our trees locally, and we were in consultation of what trees would be the best to grow at our beautiful Irongo region. So the schools involved is West Side High, Namib Primary School, Namib High School, PSS and ProEd. So today we see the launch of this project, if one can say so, but 4 schools to go ahead to plant trees and to see how it grows. Impact on students, for example, if I may, on behalf of Westside High, they have a very alive environmental club. With that, having said that, they are already producing fruits for the students, for the learners. So those learners are already educated to work in the gardens or to be part of how to grow my own trees, and that reflects indirectly to be sustainable and to grow your own fruit trees and to grow your own meals, if one can say so indirectly.
My name is Lone Murere and I'm part of the environmental club, and we're part Seed helped us the trees plant program, and the environmental club has done a lot of things for the school, like we've gotten new pavements for the kids to play. We got some trees, we planted trees a while ago for shade, and as well we cleaned out the pond, and then we picked up trash in and around the school for a cleaner environment.
Tourism Minister Pohamba Shifeta speaks at Namibia's celebration of World Rhino Day being held in Etosha National Park at Okakweyo today. Elaine Smith reports.
Rhino Day, and I want to say happy World Rhinos Day, and also to all of us and to all the rhino species in the world. This is a special day today dedicated to raising awareness about threats that the rhino population is facing in the world, how the world can come together and protect this endangered species. Illegal hunting for rhino horn is primarily responsible for the crash in the black rhino numbers in Africa, from perhaps a population of 100,000 animals in the early 1960s to a low of about 2,410.
In our Story of the Day segment, ex-Seaflower pelagic processing employees are unhappy. We expand on this story on the other side of the break.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
New face to the
115. The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
The former Seaflower pelagic processing employees who are now employed at Walvis Bay-based Trilliant Investment Westhoek Fishing Company expressed their disappointment with the conditions of employment via a petition handed over to the company. Chairperson of the ex-SPP workers, Johanna Nkono, tells us more.
We the employees of Trilliant Investment would like to express our deepest concern and disappointments with the condition of employment following an agreement with the government to retain us in 2023. Trilliant Investment has received the quotas from the government to retain the 120 ex-SPP on a permanent basis, the said truth. We should like the company to explain why we signed a 6-month probation contract while it was supposed to be a permanent contract. So we would like the company to explain to us. We were promised by the government a permanent solution, but then we are having a 6-month provision contract. Number 2, we want to know where in the contract it stated that you must work first before going to medicals. We are experiencing that problem that the company is calling the workers to come and report to work while they did not go through the medicals. And then if the workers are not coming to work, then they are getting the warning or they are going through the hearing. which is wrong. You cannot call a person to come for work while this person did not go through a medical. What if the person is not fit? What if that worker fainted in the factory? What medicine will you give to the worker? You don't know the person's health. The sharing of PPE is our deepest concern. The company has rules of hygiene, yet we are sharing the PPE. Imagine I'm wearing the dress in the morning and I'm going in the factory. Lunchtime, I will come out and somebody will wear that dress. And then the person that are coming from night shift, they will be given the same dress, which is wet. We are not coming from the same background. That is not safe. We are requested to follow the rules of the company, but the company is breaking the rules by taking the employees to do domestic work and painting outside the factory with the same PPE that we are not supposed to be outside with. We want to know, we want the company to explain to us where in the contract is it stated that the employee can work outside the production. Exactly. Where in the contract? Because we signed a contract to work in the factory. Our quotas were given for us to work in the factory, but the people are taking, the company is taking the workers to do the domestic work, to be painting there outside with the PPE that they don't want us to, the mob caps to wear and go home with. We are using the mob caps, the same mob cap for 3 days, which is wrong. But the employees are going, and they are going to clean the people's house. It's wrong.
Moving on to community news, various schools in Walvis Bay gathered for a mental health seminar. We tackle this story after this.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
In a world marked by constant change and evolving challenges, the mental health of our youth has never been more crucial. Now, various schools in Walvis Bay gathered at the Narraville Community Hall for this mental health seminar, the main target audience being school-going teens and young adults. Frida Muloto reports.
Good afternoon, my name is Urbanus Gabriel from the Junior City Council of Walvis Bay. Today we are hosting a mental health cinema to spread awareness about mental health in the community and towards the youth members as they are about to approach their exams, and most of them are also about to they are also starting to look for their universities, which causes a lot of stress. So we are trying to help them with their mental health.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alan Pietres, and I'm Leonard from the Kusamon Secondary School. Today is basically to speak about the different pressures, but mostly I'll be focusing on within regards to school-wise, okay? So I'll be in the school environment. So firstly, allow me to start off with identifying two of the main pressures that I think that they are of severe cause. Firstly, I would like to say there's academic pressure, and secondly, I would love to say there's peer pressure.
According to Economic News, Namibia tops Africa in beer consumption. We expand on this story after this.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment.
Everything was happening during
this past weekend. Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
Getting into our economic news, Namibia has the highest per capita beer consumption in Africa and is ranked 9th in the world. Per capita is the volume of beer consumed divided by the country's population. Philippus Usiku reports.
Challenge that we need to highlight for Namibia is that currently Namibia has the highest per capita beer consumption in Africa, right? We are number 9 currently in the world. So we need to be realistic that the opportunity to grow beer is limited, okay? But what we can now target for with this new portfolio that we have here is to allow our consumers to drink better and trade up to premium brands in other categories. So that is the major opportunity that the Distell transaction will unlock for Namibia. And over the last few months, we've already realized and seen some of that. And now it's really a case of entrenching and escalating that, accelerating that going forward. Okay.
Let's take a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 22.93, against the euro at 19.98, against the US dollar at 18.75. 2 Namibian dollars and 57 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities, gold, platinum went up while copper and Brent crude oil went down. Brent crude oil trading at 0.25%, going for $92.81 per barrel. In international news, Greek MP talks support for Ukraine, climate change, and migration at UN. We get into this after the break. Greece's Premier Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis addresses the UN General Assembly yesterday to reiterate his country's commitment to Ukraine in the war against Russia. Mitsotakis also talked about the damage caused by Storm Daniel, the worst to hit Greece in over a century, in the context of climate change that he remarked is no longer a crisis of the poorest. Speaking about the migration crisis in the Mediterranean, Mitsotakis said his nation will always be an open and welcoming country and urged the international community for legal pathways to mobility. He also called for a coordinated approach to address the root causes of migration and counter human trafficking. Let's take a look.
The assertion on Russia's part is that NATO, the EU, the other partners that support Ukraine will eventually lose the stomach to continue that fight. Now let me be clear. This should not happen, and this will not happen. We will never walk away from Ukraine, because to do so would be to abandon the very principles of peace, democracy, and adherence to international law that so many in this room hold dear. And sustainability for all. It is a laudable goal. Greece was struck by Storm Daniel. The Thessaly region, in the center of the country, saw twice as much rainfall in one day than falls in London in an entire year. It was the worst storm to hit Greece in over a century. And Daniel carved its destructive path not only through my country, but through Libya too. I accept, of course, that the climate crisis is not an alibi for everything, but the science is clear. Unprecedented temperatures, fueled by global warming, are creating the conditions that drive these catastrophic events. And this is no longer a crisis of the poorest or the global south. Our own very unequal battle with nature is now being fought out across the European south, and the Mediterranean in particular was reduced to ashes. 700 firefighters from across my country is at the forefront of the global migration crisis. Greece has over the last decade provided shelter and protection to hundreds of thousands of refugees and asylum seekers. Greece will always be an open and welcoming country for those fleeing persecution and violence, as well as those economic migrants who, however, seek a new future by accessing legal pathways. After all, our economy is growing again. We're attracting significant foreign investment, and there are many job opportunities in my country. But we also need to fill these vacancies on our own terms, not those set by the criminal gangs. And that is why it is critical that the international community works together to establish a far more comprehensive and coordinated approach, one that addresses the root causes of migration, one that more effectively counters human trafficking and migrant smuggling, and fosters legal pathways to mobility.
Now, the foreign ministers of the Islamic Republic of Iran and the Republic of Djibouti met on the sidelines of the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly meeting, according to Iran's state-run Islamic Republic news agencies. Now, the two sides agreed to develop friendly relations based on mutual respect for sovereignty, equality, mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. We'll now take a short break before we get into your weather. Katima Mulilo can expect a minimum temperature of 20 degrees Celsius and a maximum temperature of 39 degrees Celsius, while Oshakati can expect a minimum temperature of 19 degrees Celsius with a maximum temperature of 35 degrees Celsius. Henties Bay can expect a minimum of 13 degrees Celsius with a maximum of 16, while Rehoboth can expect a minimum of 17 with a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius. We'll get into the sporting news shortly.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Wrap for Sunset News. It's an exciting sporting weekend all over the world in the English Premier League. Arsenal takes on rivals Tottenham as Aston Villa faces Chelsea. In rugby, it's going to be the Springboks taking on Ireland at 9 p.m. tomorrow. We'll certainly be watching that. Yes, however, last night, Namibia fell to France 96-0. But despite the Valvichas' painful World Cup defeat in Marseille, there was also some better news for Namibia coming out of France in the last week. It was announced that 19-year-old prop forward Herman Coetzee has signed a 3-year contract with prestigious French top 14 club Racing 92. The former national under-18 schoolboy captain will follow in the footsteps of his namesake Arnos Coetzee, as well as Anton Bresla, the only other Namibians who have previously worn the Racing 92 jersey. Here, in his own words, speaking from Paris.
Good morning, guys. My name is Herman Coetzee. I'm a 19-year-old prop from Namibia that just signed with Club Giants Racing 92 as an S4/CDF. Where do I start? I started this year at Comcare Rugby Travel Academy with my coaches Len Willefeer and Rassi, which helped me who helped me this year to accomplish feats like playing for the Falca Under-19 Currie Cup team, showcase my talents on a Currie Cup level, Under-19 Currie Cup level. Played for Comcare Rugby Travel Academy as well in the league, and played against Turks, Narco Bulls and teams like that, which also conditioned me and bettered my play style, and then worked on my scrum techniques and scrummaging as well. Truly thankful for them as they helped me to get this.
We certainly wish Herman all the best. That's it for Sports Stories.
Getting into our highlights from today's broadcast, the Deep Yellow Limited and its subsidiary Reptile Mineral Resources and Exploration donated fruit trees and compost. 5 Swakopmund schools received fruit trees and bags of compost. BDO Namibia presents the first ever PSA squash tournament in Namibia that officially started on Wednesday at the Wanderers Sports Club. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. From me, Glenora Shipura, have a good weekend ahead.